got to Minnesota Timberwolves fans. Welcome in to Talkin T-Wolves. I am pumped up! The Wolves just knocked off the Milwaukee Bucks, defending champions, tonight. It was an amazing game. I am jacked up. What a fun game to watch. I'm just waiting for my buddy Kevin to get in here, but I will tell you what, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. So stay tuned. Check it out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Give us a like. I will be right back in about 5 minutes to begin the conversation. Wolves win, everybody. Wolves win. Woo!
got to believe.
All right, Minnesota Timberwolves fans. How's it going tonight? I am jacked up. I'm here with Kevin Stanky. We are excited to talk some Timberwolves after an amazing win against the defending champions Milwaukee Bucks. Kevin, how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, feeling great after that wonderful victory by the Timberwolves against the
Heck
NBA world champion Milwaukee Bucks, showing against the Giannis 40 points what a team of double-digit scorers, Edwards, Towns, Russell, all in the 20s.
Well, before we get into the box score, Kevin, let's just discuss the game itself and how it started, right? First quarter. Who came out with the most energy? Cat, Anthony Edwards, or D'Angelo Russell? Because they all had a pretty good first quarter.
Russell came out shooting and making. We like to see him shooting. We especially like to see him making. And hadn't seen that yet from D'Angelo Russell yet this year, but hitting it hard tonight, though. He started off, I believe, 5 for 6.
He was perfect. He was perfect shooting. Let's see, I took a note. He was 7 of 7. Oh no, the Wolves started out 7 of 7 as a team. D'Lo was 5 of 6 in the first quarter.
Yeah, and quite a few of those 5s were 3-pointers as well. So really setting the tone early, the way you like to see it, because if you get him going early, then he's a threat from outside. And he can be scoring from anywhere on the court, and that just opens everything up for everybody else on the team. So love to see that tone set early from D'Angelo Russell, and maybe that's the way they should start the game out of the gate every time. See how he's shooting, let him go wild, and if it's not falling, then go on to plan B, and start to work around that with players like, Naz Reid and Malik Beasley.
Well, it's funny that you say that those two, because they didn't get into the game in the first quarter at all. So the first player off the bench was Jared Vanderbilt, who got a lot of run in the whole game, right?
Oh,
But he
Vanderbilt
brought some
started the
energy.
game.
Did he
Vanderbilt-
start? I thought it was a Kogi.
Okogie didn't even touch the floor tonight, and I wanted to know why that was too. I mean, he is,
God,
uh,
how did I miss
you know, they're finding these situational opportunities to interchange those two players, but I don't believe. I mean, I know last game Okogie maybe played himself out of that game, but I didn't think he would play himself completely out of rotation. So hope to see Josh Okogie back out there soon with his defensive presence.
I don't think he was kept out of the game then, if that's the case, because of his play in the last game. Like, he's never been an offensive player, right? But in the game against the Bucks, they still needed length and rebounding when you're playing
Exactly.
Giannis.
And the game plan seemed to work because having the Vanderbilt and McDaniels out there, even though they didn't provide a lot offensively, they weren't a liability offensively. Vanderbilt hitting 4 of 6 on 10 points, and McDaniels hitting a pretty big clutch 3. And it was his only 3 points of the game, but going along with his 11 rebounds, showing why he belongs in the starting lineup.
Dude, he played amazing. I had to write down a quote from his halftime interview with Marnie Gellner, right? She asked him something like, how did you bring so much energy to the game? And his response was, I just wanted to cause chaos. And he did, right? I mean, he was everywhere.
Is that how he said it? Chaos?
No, I'm an idiot. He wanted to cause chaos. Yeah, but
I
he
know
played.
maybe like a different kind of chaos, but
Remember
yeah.
Chaos? Maybe it was the one in River Falls. Like
Club Chaos, yeah.
There. It's probably not there anymore.
Yeah, you had to be around a certain sub-segment of time. I was watching the Milwaukee Bucks broadcast of the game, and they love to call Pat Connaughton just Pat.
Pat.
It didn't seem like a good nickname for a basketball player, but it seemed right for him.
It's fitting, I'd say. He's a Pat.
There goes Pat. Pat's patting around the ball.
All right, to get back on the first quarter, we'll wrap up Fataka the first quarter. Yeah, Vanderbilt brought the energy, but D'Angelo Russell came to this game to prove that he is not as bad as we've seen in the first 3 games, right? I mean, he came out shooting and was hot and is exactly what the team needs from him.
He brought the right game tonight, and let's hope he finds the right times and places to continue to bring that game, because there's a time and a place for it, and tonight was definitely that time and place. And Monday night it was a different time and place, and he just didn't quite seem to have it together. But I think situationally, I think the way that they played it tonight was the way that you want to see him do it, is like have him set the tone early, D'Angelo Russell, and once you know he's hot or not, then that's when you start deferring off of him. And I think that's the plan that they should start to institute from here on out.
Yeah, I agree. So that'll get us to the next thing. After D'Lo was hot in the first quarter, Chris Finch gave him a little bit of a rest, right? First off the bench was Patrick Beverly for him coming in. And Beverly played really good tonight, right? I mean, he came in, gave some solid minutes, and made a definite impact. He only had 6 points, but he had 7 assists and 6 rebounds. I mean, it was a well-rounded game for your backup point guard.
Yeah, he was good to see out there. Made some good defensive plays. But he didn't. There was one highlight we saw from the game where he got called for an offensive foul for a new foul that they're calling this year. So he seemed to be satisfied that they even called the foul. So
he gave him a thumbs up. He gave the ref a thumbs up for calling it, and he was
I think all NBA fans can get behind that. that call. Like,
Yeah.
let's stop seeing that as a foul in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was it was funny to watch. I mean, his reaction right away was like, "Yeah, I did it." It was great. But he played really well. Second quarter as well as Nas. Came off the bench and had an immediate impact. Pick and roll with D'Angelo Russell was working right away. It was really good. They built the lead to 20 points right in that first. They were on a 10-0 run, I believe. So
Yeah, it was amazing to see them up that high, and you know when you watch this Timberwolves team that they're gonna start to that you can't really trust a 20-point lead, so that's baseline for us. You feel that 20-point rush, and then just know it's kind of like a Snickers bar that you just fun sized,
you want
just a
more.
jolt of energy,
Yeah.
but it's not going to sustain you.
Agreed. But all in all, that was a fun first half to watch, dude. It was great. The biggest thing I took away from the first half, and then Jim Pete kept making a big deal of it in the second half, but Karl Anthony Towns was playing hard the entire game and wasn't complaining. He got quite a few fouls, some bad no calls again, which seems to happen every game, but he didn't complain one bit. He walked away and he just kept bringing positive energy, which was awesome to see, right?
Yeah, it was great to see a good game out of Towns, leading the league or leading the team in minutes, 38 minutes tonight. Didn't get himself in foul trouble like we've seen out of him lately. Only hitting one foul tonight. So never really had a thought about yanking him, which is the big problem with Towns is, about half the games you watch him play, you gotta wonder if you gotta watch his minutes because of the foul trouble. So we didn't have that concern tonight, and that made things a lot easier too. So hope to see that again moving forward. A team like the Bucks that didn't really have a center. They had Giannis, who was their center and maybe kind of always is their center, but is always just the focal point of their entire offense. But at least we didn't see Towns having to sacrifice himself to another
big.
Another big, yeah.
I mean, they were hurt not having Brooke Lopez, right? I mean, it would have been a big and Drew Holiday. I mean, those were two big losses for the Bucks to not have in this game. But the Wolves weren't going to use that as an excuse, right? They came hard the entire game.
No, I mean, you look at that as a possibility once you start to see names like those guys going down, and you think, why shouldn't the T-Wolves of Talkin T-Wolves fame take over the game?
And they can take over the game whenever they want. They proved it tonight. If only we played half of a Bucks team all the time, it made us look real good against the defending champs. All right, that's enough first half. Let's talk about the third quarter, man. It was fun to watch. They came out of halftime with energy. I think Anthony Edwards had the most of it right out of the gate in the third quarter. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, third quarter we saw that lead. I think around then is when we started to see some of that lead dwindle a little bit. Somewhere in that third quarter,
it did dwindle a little bit, but by the end of the third quarter, they were still up by 15. So I mean, it didn't. They were able to do it. It was an interesting lineup they came out of the half with. They kept Jared Vanderbilt in there, but well, I guess I was mistaken. I didn't think Vanderbilt started. I don't know why I thought that. So they went back to the starting lineup. I'm dumb once again.
well, it was a good third quarter. They ended up going up pretty well, and then I don't really know what else to say about the third quarter.
Hey, they kept it going. It ended with a 15-point lead, and by the fourth quarter, that's when things got a little bit interesting, right?
Yeah, we saw the Bucks claw their way back, and just a ridiculous. I'm surprised it wasn't a 3-pointer. It was a 2-pointer from Middleton to pull them within 4, which would have made it within 3 if he had made that. It actually pulled them within 2. He made that 2-point shot with 34 seconds left to go. A fadeaway, Kobe-esque in the corner shot. Just even the Bucks announcers seemed to think that it was a no question 2-pointer, but luckily that was just a 2-point game, and Edwards came out with that great driving layup with 15 seconds to go to put him within 4 and make it a little bit more difficult.
Fill me in on just how exactly did the lead dwindle? Because in all honesty, I ran in here to set up my equipment, and I thought we had it in the bag with 3 minutes left, and here we were. I turned it on the TV, and we were only up by 4, and then he made the 2-pointer. It was
throughout the fourth quarter, the Bucks slowly were making their small steps backwards. Of course, Giannis taking over the game in almost every aspect, but even Ted Cruz Jr., Grayson Allen was hitting some open 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
And by around 2 minutes left in the game, Bucks were within 6. And then Middleton hitting that tip shot around 118, pulling within 4. And then that Middleton shot, that crucial shot that I had just mentioned, around 34 seconds, pulling within 2. So Giannis pretty much in the fourth quarter just said, let's just let me take care of this, and racked up a bunch of more points of his 40 points there in that fourth quarter. But they gave some resting opportunities as well, and featured Middleton. But in the end, it was the Timberwolves pulling things out because they had that enormous cushion of a lead to hang out on.
Yep.
Luckily, and great to see him hold on to it, because past few seasons we haven't seen that. So let's hope that keeps up.
Past few seasons,
cocky.
like last year, and then the year before, and the decade before that. Yeah. Holding on to a lead in the fourth quarter, closing things out. That's been the story of the Wolves, their inability to do that. So it was good to see. One player I really want to talk about, and I've called him my favorite player on the Wolves, Jaden McDaniels. He played great defense again, and yet had very little impact offensively. He finished with only 3 points, but he had 11 rebounds. He's got some of the quickest hands and instincts on defense that I've seen in a long time.
He had the impact that you hope to see from him in the game, because he had the 100% defensive impact that every single time you saw him on the defensive end of the floor, it mattered. And on the offensive side of the floor, there's only one ball to go around. So you don't need to have every player to be offensive threat, just to be there available to collect an offensive rebound if the chance comes up. And that's something that he does as well. So Jaden McDaniels is the exact kind of juice this team needs to really get that zesty flavor.
Heck yeah.
We like to pepper our expectations.
I mean, pepper the expectations.
Season them.
Season it with a little bit of offensive spice, man. I mean, he put up a couple threes, but he only made one of them. I just want to see more.
It was clutch. It was a very clutch one too. It was one that was really felt like when he saw it happen that that was the shot you needed. So he doesn't get a lot of opportunities offensively, and that's fine because that's not his role right now. And eventually we might see it, but he's definitely having an impact on the game. So we want to keep that his presence and his abilities where they're best utilized, I think.
Well, here's the box score for the game, and yeah, I mean, he only put up 3 shots from the field, 3 from behind the 3-point line, made 1 each. I mean, that's tough.
Well,
I
then
mean, he
flip it,
only
you break it. Sorry.
well, I misspoke. He only took 3 attempts from behind the 3-point line. He never even drove to the basket, got any offensive rebounds, that putbacks. I mean, those are the types of easy baskets that he should be able to get. I'm really shocked at his limited offensive output.
But when you break down to where he's, who he's on the floor with during his offensive minutes, it's Edwards, Towns, Russell, and Vanderbilt. I mean, they're the starting lineup. They basically shared all the same minutes tonight. And when he's on the floor with those, Edwards, Towns, and Russell, cheers.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to see him shooting the ball. That's just how it is when you have those 3 guys on the floor. You don't have to feature him.
Completely agree that he is there for his defensive play, but I'd still love to see, and maybe that's kind of what Anthony Edwards was talking about after the last game about getting his teammates involved. Like, I just want to see him get some easy baskets too. Like last year, he had a couple really good offensive games. And yeah, we're only 4 games in. I get that there will be more, but I think he has the ability to be a really well-rounded player, not just a defensive player. Just haven't seen it yet. Wishing for more. Maybe that's asking for too much at this point. I don't know.
He just keeps playing his tail off on defense, and it'll result in offensive plays. That'll always happen.
Let's talk about one other player, Malik Beasley. Only had 6 points. He's 2 of 6 from the 3. It was nice to see him make a couple, but still keeps me feeling like I need to see more. His shot just isn't quite right. It's not there like it was last year. You got any insight on what you think is going on?
Kind of the same situation. He's in the second unit. As long as he's in the second unit, we don't have to rely on him to do the things that we kind of relied on him doing when he first came to town. So he's cold right now. Hopefully he can figure it out, but I don't think that he's necessarily somebody you just want to say you're going to rely on right now. And maybe he'll be like the heat check on D'Angelo Russell. So D'Angelo Russell's coming out hot, then Beasley's going to be riding the pine a little bit more. But once Russell is getting cold, then maybe pull him early and then insert Beasley and see what happens there. That might be the strategy. Have him be the 6th man in those situations when they need that offensive jolt, to see if he can shoot the team out of the gate. So
I agree,
luckily
man.
we just don't have to rely on him. So
no, we don't have to rely on him right now. I like what Chris Finch has been doing with kind of mixing in not the whole bench unless he really has to give a break, but he's able to keep, Anthony Edwards out there with him, or D'Lo tonight was out there with some of our reserves, which is nice and to be able to do. But I'd still like to see Malik get his shot corrected, or see some drop. Maybe not correct it, not like he has a shooting problem. I think he's just got some bad luck, maybe some rust. but he's a player I'd like to see improve. Certainly get a little more points than 6 tonight. And how many did he have against the Pelicans? 3, I think it was, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been really impacting the games for the Wolves, and
he played really good defense the first game.
And yeah, we see some good defensive efforts out of him as well. So as long as he's not, in that last Pelicans game, we saw D'Angelo Russell making some just kind of outlandish shots, and going back to that game, luckily we don't have to dwell too much on that. But I just keep going back and thinking on that game is why weren't they attacking Jonas when he had 5 fouls in the fourth quarter when the game was still close? At that point, they were just jacking up threes instead of finding a way to take him out of the game. Because if they could have figured out a way to take him out of the game, which they easily could have, he had 5 fouls, is to attack the rim. He seemed to be willing to foul on any time anybody tried to challenge him. So,
yeah,
I know that Chris Finch had made some mentions about maybe including Beasley at the end of the rotation at the end of that game, and I don't know. There was some interesting calls in that game as well, as where at the end of the third quarter, Towns and Ant were going to get subbed out, and Ant was hot as hell. He was hitting 14 points, I believe, 14 points in a row for the squad.
Yeah, he had 21 points in the third quarter. He had only 2 in the whole first half, so it was pretty very hot third quarter for him.
So they were going to sub out Ant and Cat, and they both said no, and that was just allowed to fly. And that was, that's a good move, especially for a guy like Ant to say that. I think that was a ballsy move by him, and good to see him do, really try and take control, because I can tell that if he can be he's young still, but if he can be the leader that I think that he's going to be, then this Timberwolves team is going to be, they're going to be competing for some conference finals and maybe even some championships. So if he keeps progressing the way that he is, that's what I'm hoping and expecting.
That's a bold statement, Kevin. 4 games into the season, I love it though. I wishful thinking, and that's positive energy, man. You got to believe it in order to see it.
Man, if Anthony Edwards continues to progress and just show that he's putting in the work every game and every day and every week that he has been showing in the first year and a half of his young career, I think we can see Giannis-like projections out of him, and I'm ready for it.
Oh yeah, I think we can. I mean, his talent is amazing, his athleticism, but most importantly, his drive and his attitude. Like, after that Pelicans loss was the first time I would say in his career where he's spoken not in a negative way against his teammates, but more as a leader. And he really showed that he can be a leader, right? That was a step in that alpha role on a team, right? So that was awesome to see. And he does have that kind of mojo going. I don't want to make the comparison to Jordan, but I just rewatched The Last Dance this last weekend, and his comparison, like his play in Jordan's first couple years, is very similar. Not so much on the points, but like his energy and his drive to win. It is cool. Do I think he's Michael Jordan? No. Could he be? Yeah, maybe. He's that athletic, but he's a good player, and he wants to win, and that's all I'm saying. He has that winning energy, which is cool to see, especially from a number one pick. The last number one pick we had, not Karl Anthony Towns, but Andrew Wiggins, did not have that, I would say.
Andrew Wiggins was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you're right. I was talking about Anthony Bennett, also number one. Had that. He didn't have that drive either. So, yeah. Overall, Kevin, what a great game, dude. What a fun game to watch. We led the whole entire game, and played our hearts out because we wanted to beat the champions, and they did it.
And the next game we got is the Denver Nuggets. Hats off to the Milwaukee Bucks. Been a huge fan of them. It was fun to follow them over the playoffs last year. Kind of adopt them as my home team. Really wish we could find a way we could merge these teams, Milwaukee, Minnesota. Let's make it happen. Let's
would be
form that
interesting.
bond, and let's put together a super team. Let's do it.
I don't see the NBA doing a contraction of teams anytime soon. So
if we could just like make the home court like kind of, I don't know. I can't believe Milwaukee Bucks are so similar to the Timberwolves. They're just in the East, and they happen to draft Giannis Antetokounmpo and change their 50-year misery. Probably
bring a
not quite misery
championship.
because they stay solid most of those years. They're pretty mediocre most of those years. We saw them play in the year 2000, I believe.
Yeah.
We go see them at the Bradley Center.
Yes,
we
we did.
The New Jersey Nets against Jason Kidd.
Yeah,
and,
little Ray Allen.
That was like, the NBA experience that I don't think that we can ever experience again, because it was like, we got $5 tickets. We brought in our own MGDs in our pockets.
Yeah.
And
I didn't have MGDs. I had what did they call them? The grenades. What were they?
The Mickeys, yeah.
The Mickeys.
And everybody around us was doing the exact same thing. It was like, we're not being sneaky at all. This is just how it's done here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just part of the squad here in Milwaukee. So hats off to them. They
built
right.
a great team, right? I mean, they won it last year. They were close the year before. Yeah,
if they're not playing the Timberwolves, I'm cheering for them.
Yeah. Hey, I want to thank everybody that's watching right now. This is a fun show. I mean, I'm jacked up off of the win tonight, and I love talking T-Wolves. If anybody watching likes to talk T-Wolves, let us know what you think in the comment section.
The comic section.
The talking will not get any better, I'm sorry, but we'll still try and talk T-Wolves. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is really fun.
Denver Nuggets next, though. I mean, Jokic, that's going to be a tough matchup. Timberwolves always have a big rivalry when Towns and Jokic go at it. And remember when Towns and Jokic it's like, can you believe that some people think Jokic is better than Towns? And now Jokic is the MVP.
Well, yeah. I can't fault him. He was amazing last year.
And there's no reason that Towns can't replicate his type of performance. He's shown he's a great passer out of the post.
Yeah.
And he's just been injured the last 2 seasons. So,
well, here's a look at their roster and what we're up against.
So has Jokic been injured? Has he got like a day-to-day kind of injury or something? We know Jamal Murray's out. So
Murray's been out, but I didn't hear that Jokic is hurt.
He's probably just had like something where he's probable or something like that lately, and so he's going to be playing almost certainly.
Heck yeah.
And he's going to be putting up MVP type numbers. And I think
What
we're
do you
probably going to
think?
see Vanderbilt again starting.
I would think so. I would think that after tonight's game, Jared Vanderbilt is going to have a little chip on his shoulder.
They're going to have a similar
Going
game
back to
plan that they
Denver.
probably had against Giannis, where they were trying to double team him any opportunity they could and leave it up to the open shooters to have to make shots. And especially if Jamal Murray's out, we're going to see a similar game plan and probably going to see similar results where there's going to be some offensive battles and somebody's going to get up big, and hopefully that's Timberwolves. And we'll see one of the other team cut it back close, and then it's just a matter of who pulls it out in the fourth quarter. I think it's going to be a similar story.
What a steal Michael Porter Jr. was for the Nuggets, right? I mean, they got him super late in the draft because he was hurt in college, right?
Yeah, it was a late
He had a
lottery
real.
pick. He somehow they acquired a first round pick, I believe, from a late lottery team, and yeah, they saw him sit out a year.
Mm-hmm. But hey,
I mean, he's
patience
good, but
pays
he's
off
not.
because he was
Yeah.
amazing last year and has been playing great this year. I didn't know that they got JaMychal Green. Wasn't he with Memphis?
I mean, he's definitely been with Memphis quite a bit. He's been around. We always talk about him getting on the Timberwolves. He's out. He's going to playoff teams. Good for him.
Yeah, way to go. I think that they're gonna be a similar situation to the Bucks, right? We got to go in there, believe that we can win, and play our hearts out. It doesn't matter who's hurt, who's healthy. What matters is playing 110%, which is what they did tonight.
Yeah, where they're sitting 3-1. They got Golden State undefeated 4-0, Utah 3-0 ahead of them. They're the only 3-1 team in the Western Conference, so that's a welcome sight to see. Just sitting comfortably in third place. Can't rest on that too long, but Denver right in that mix at 6, 2-2, and a good way to separate from them a little bit if they can make a good showing.
Yeah, it's really nice to see us at the top of the standings early in the season when other teams didn't start off hot. I mean, that's been the killer every year. We shoot ourselves in the foot and get behind the 8 ball, and you can't climb out of a hole, and health wise. But as long as this team stays healthy, I really hope that they're proving right now that they are for real, that they can be a playoff team. I think they are talent wise. I love what Chris Finch is doing, and I don't see a reason why they should drop out of the playoff race at any point this year.
Yeah, I think, yeah, let's see him keep it going. Let's keep the hot hand rolling. We got Edwards, Towns, Russell, and a great defensive rotation behind them. So let's see keep happening.
I've been seeing a lot of comments about rebounding needs, and how the Wolves make up, because they've had been the last 3 games they've been at the bottom of the league in total rebounds, team rebounding. Tonight they didn't have a problem with that, and a big thanks to Jared Vanderbilt and Jaden McDaniels. But do you think that they can keep it up with the defensive pressure? Because that's what I've seen. Sorry, that's what I've seen the last 3 games. Is that, yeah, they might not be out rebounding the other team, but the defensive pressure that they get and the amount of turnovers they were receiving, and turning into points makes up for the lack of rebounding, really.
Yeah, I mean, they still get the boards. I mean, they get the good bounces, but you'd like to see them maybe like find a 7-footer that they could just set out there and, like, not have to worry as much about somebody getting so close to the rim, but
Yeah.
that would just be a backup player for them. So they would probably have to pay a premium for that. Not everybody grows to be 7 feet tall. So,
No.
That's the one thing I feel like is missing from this team, because Naz Reid's a great, backup big, but like, he's not that big. So if you could have somebody that you could just count on as being that defensive presence down low, you would have to sacrifice somebody from this team, and this team's pretty good. So,
If
what are you
only
gonna do
we
about
could
it?
like get a
You get
time
Bol
machine
Bol.
and bring back Big Irv Johnson, Oliver Miller. Just kidding.
Taco Fall out there somewhere.
Yeah, right. He's not with Boston anymore, right?
I don't know. He signed with someone. But yeah, like a Bol. We saw. I saw his name getting flown around
He's
some
on
trade rumors.
he's on the
lately.
Nuggets. We'll see him next game.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we see him.
Well, yeah.
He's hard to miss. He's tall.
Well, if he's standing facing you, if you catch him from the side, you might not see him. He's so skinny.
It'd be nice to have a guy like that on this team, though. Just somebody that could really be their defensive. If they're up big like they were tonight, just to like get in the way, be in the way, down in the lane against Giannis, keep him from scoring 40 points at will.
Agreed. They need somebody that can. I mean, Nas is really that guy that puts the body on a center like Jokic is. We're gonna need to do on Jokic, because he's gonna do that. I hope that Cat keeps a level head in this next game and continues his non-complaining play. But yeah, it would be cool to see another big on this team that you could kind of fit into a rotation or ask to play a little bit more defense than what we are getting out of Nas. But I love Nas, dude. I think he's really, really a good player. I just don't like him shooting the 3 ball.
Well, he shoots pretty well out there, so you don't want to depend on him to shoot him, but when he's forced to shoot him, he does all right.
Yeah, I suppose. It's the highest arc next to Steph Curry that I've seen in the NBA. That thing almost hits the scoreboard.
That's Naz Reid, baby.
Naz Reid. Love it. Yeah, man. I'm pumped. I think we hit on everything. Is there any
I think we hit on everything and then some.
And then some. Heck yeah. It was such a fun game to watch. I was jacked up the whole time watching it, just going, look at McDaniels, just hand in the face. He's all over that guy. Look at Carl. He just got a foul. He's not complaining. And yeah, they didn't call it. No big deal. It was just all around. Anthony Edwards played amazing. I'm just so happy that we were able to beat the champion Bucks.
Thanks for having me on the show, Garrett. And yeah, great to see a great win against those Milwaukee Bucks. Good job, Timberwolves.
Yeah, it was awesome. Just a fun game. We'll do it again here soon. Maybe after the Denver game for another win. And the Wolves can go 5-1. Wouldn't that be great?
Let's see it.
Let's see it, buddy. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for coming on. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Give us a like and do that subscription thing so more people see the show. But either way, this is all fun. I love doing it with you, Kevin. Great time.
I love you, Garrett.
I love you, man. Go Wolves.